allegation, I guess I would first ask you to address on camera the allegations made and one that there was an offer,
Sure,
a quid pro quo for a declassification.
Sure.
Can you speak to that?
I certainly can. So the allegation of any kind of quid pro quo is inaccurate and does not align with the facts. So there was no quid pro quo. And I would note, first of all, that the FBI, I think this past weekend, put out a statement strongly refuting that there was any kind of quid pro quo. So just to outline, just so other folks know what we're talking about, I'm sure everyone does, but there was an allegation that there was some kind of exchange for us to, or for the FBI not to upgrade one of the emails among the 55,000 that we put out from the FOIA request in exchange for increasing FBI slots in Baghdad. So just to walk people through this, first of all, the State Department did actually upgrade the document at the request of the FBI when it was released back in May of 2015, and everyone can see it on our website. And secondly, there were no increase in FBI slots in Iraq that resulted from this conversation. So what did occur, just to clarify, Undersecretary Kennedy, Pat Kennedy, sought to understand the FBI's process for withholding certain information from public release. And as all of you know, throughout this process, we were very clear in talking about, at times, that this was the decision to upgrade or not upgrade certain parts of emails was a topic of discussion among our interagency colleagues about whether certain information should or should not be upgraded in classification. And as we also know, individuals with classification authorities often have, or sometimes have, different views on how to do that, or whether something should be upgraded. So, so again, no quid pro quo, no exchange here, just simply a request from our Undersecretary, Pat Kennedy, to clarify the reasoning or the rationale behind upgrading.
Why would he have raised the issue of additional slots for the FBI? I mean, I get that you say there was no quid pro quo, but was it ever discussed?
It was. So he just raised it. This official
quid pro quo was discussed.
No. Let me clarify here. I thought you were talking about the additional slots.
No. I'm going to get to that in a second, but I want to know first: was there even if it didn't happen in the end?
No.
Was there was no discussion?
No.
Just so we're perfectly clear, there was no discussion of any quid pro quo? There was no discussion of any quid pro quo?
I'm sorry, there was...
There was no discussion of any quid pro quo?
No, there was no discussion.
Was there any discussion of any kind of an exchange?
No.
With regard to classification procedures on the one hand and FBI slots at U.S. embassies abroad on the other?
No.
Thanks.
Okay. Have you read the FBI 302? Because that is not what it says in black and white. I'll read it to you right here. It uses the term quid pro quo. Those are the words of the FBI agent. And then it says, in exchange for marking the email unclassified, state would reciprocate by allowing the FBI to place more agents in countries where they are presently forbidden. I mean, this conflicts directly with what you're saying today.
I'm sorry, and I can speak to, the fact that 302s are simply interviews conducted by the FBI.
So you're saying the FBI agent either got it wrong or is lying in this 302?
I can't speak to what his or her intentions were saying these kinds of things, but clearly expressing a personal opinion about what happened. All I can say is, as I understand the course of events, Catherine, as I understand this, Catherine, this was any idea or any really assertion that this was somehow a tit for tat or a quid pro quo exchange of in that manner really, frankly, is insulting. This was a process that we worked diligently through the interagency with, including the FBI, Did we have disagreements regarding classification upgrades? Certainly, and we have discussed that at length. We've talked about the fact that sometimes upgrades are, and we talked about this, are more art than science. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
We talked about that there were strong disagreements on whether to upgrade some of this material.
That is not what this 302 says.
Again,
It says right here, listen, please.
Okay,
Kennedy
sure.
spent the next 15 minutes debating the classification of the email and attempting to influence the FBI to change its markings. Is that in keeping with the high ethical standards of the State Department?
Could you read that to me one more time?
Yes. Kennedy spent the next 15 minutes debating the classification of the email and attempting to influence the FBI to change its markings. Is that in keeping with the high ethical standards of the State Department?
Well, look, I'm not going to debate every point and every excerpt from these 302s, but what you just read to me sounds like it was a discussion on whether a certain portion of the email should or should not be classified. We, Pat Kennedy, all of us at the State Department are going to make their case as best they can. That's called interagency exchange and the kind of discussions that we carry out all the time.
I would strongly suggest you read
Please,
the
ma'am.
302 because this is the paragraph after the FBI agent specifically uses the term quid pro quo. This is no small thing.
I understand
senior
that.
executive
I
is
understand
accused
that.
of trying to
I understand that,
bribe
which is
an
why I
agent.
came out here and said there's no quid pro quo.
Well, it
Absolutely
never
not.
happened, but there was clearly a discussion of
There was a
having
discussion
swap.
over the classification of this material. There was
Well,
no
It reads like you
implicit
scratch my
or-
back, I'll scratch yours.
Anyway, welcome to the State Department. I think we have some interns in the back. Welcome. Good to see you in this exercise in transparency and democracy.
Is that what it is?
Sorry,
I
I didn't mean to break
thought
out
it was an
laughter.
exercise in spin and obfuscation.